And as students get ready to head back to the classroom, most will be bringing their cellular devices with them. But some Maine schools have made the decision to ban them altogether. As Alyssa Thurlow reports, there are dangers when it comes to smartphones and social media, and parents and teachers are doing their best to reduce the harm to their mental health.
They're not just separating our kids from their learning, they're separating our kids from each other.
More than 24 Maine schools have voted to ban or restrict cell phone use in the classroom. At RSU 64 in Corinth, cell phones are restricted during the school day unless otherwise authorized by an adult. Superintendent Rhonda Sperry says it's not about rules or restrictions in her district. It's about getting students to recognize the impact extended cell phone use can have on their mental health. Experts say the 4 foundational harms of a phone-based childhood are social deprivation, sleep deprivation, attention fragmentation, and addiction.
When you're an adolescent and your brain is not fully developed, that kind of work and growth is some of the most important work and growth that can take place.
RSU 64 and other districts across Maine are hoping to provide students a cell phone-free school day so they can better connect with their learning, teachers, and peers. As for social media use, experts say it can be an outlet for students, but it does come with risks.
And one of the biggest ways to reduce the risks is for parents to be able to have open communication with their kids and work with them collaboratively.
Nadia Mendiola is a child psychiatrist at Northern Light Acadia Hospital. She advises parents to set an example by putting the phone away.
The more that we as adults can model for them of like, hey, we can put our phones down too, and we can spend time together without our phones, the more likely they're going to be able to have the buy-in of, hey, I can survive without a phone.
If you are a struggling parent in this digital age, RSU 64 has an event for you. Brooke Shannon, founder of the nationwide Wait Until 8th campaign, which encourages parents to say yes to waiting for the smartphone, will be speaking at Central Community Elementary School on Wednesday, August 28th.
We're hoping to empower parents to make really insightful and informed decisions about when to purchase their student a cell phone.
Alyssa Thurlow, WABI TV5 News, Corinth.
The talk will begin at 6 p.m. Wednesday evening at CCES. Those in attendance will be able to take home some door prizes too. You can learn more about the campaign by visiting waituntil8th.org.